What is a sprite? A sprite is used in 2D graphics, often for games. A sprite can be anything from your player, the enemies, or even just a tree. Without sprite, you cannot make a 2D game. So in this video, I will be showing you how you can create a sprite in the Defold engine. Later on in the tutorial, I will also be showing a very useful site for sprite creation, which will be able to be used in any game engine you desire to use. First things first, you'll need to open up your new project. Once you're in, you'll see this. You can just ignore this and close that. Open up main.collection. This is the main game view. It is displayed above here in the top right part of the axes you can see in here. Scrolling out, you can see massive. It's massive. However, we don't have a sprite yet, so that's what we've got to do now. There's the site that I like to use here. I'll leave it in the description. It's very simple to create a sprite with. It's very simple pixel art site. Here I have a very basic circle with a smiley face. In Piscal you can export very simply. Just open up export, selected frame export. This site also has the ability to create multiple frames, which will allow you to create animations, which you can use other export options for. However, we only want this one frame here, so we're gonna selected frame export. So download, find the directory you want to save it in. I want to save it in tutorial assets. So open and name it what I want to name it. So I'm going to name this smile. Saved. Now we go back to Defold or your editor, which if you're using a different editor, steps will be slightly different. However, the site will work for every editor. We go to create a new folder called assets, and we want to put our asset in here. So we open up where we saved our sprite, we drag it into assets, now we have it in the game. We can close this, however we can't see it quite yet. What we're going to want to do is go back to here, right click, highlight over new, and look for the Atlas option. And name this whatever you want. I'm going to name it main. The Atlas is used to store animations and what your sprites look like. If we open up, right click the Atlas, add animation group, new animation. However, we don't want it to be an animation, we just want one still frame. If we go down to playback, none. The ID is what this quote-unquote animation is going to be called. So I'm going to name mine smile face, because it's a smiley face. We go up here, right click, add images, find the asset we added earlier, double click, and now if we hit F, we can see it's added in here. We're going to want to save it. As you can see here, there's the little star. This means that what you have open is not saved. So if you do Control S, it will now be saved. We can close the Atlas and go back to the collection. So there's two ways we can create it. We're going to make both ways. The first way will be going to the collection, add game object. We can name this whatever we want, so if we want the smile to maybe be a player, we can just name it player. We go back up here, right click, add component, sprite. And once we've got the sprite added, we can scroll down here to the image, move it across, and select. So we're going to want to select the atlas that we had the image in. Okay, now default animation. Gotta go here, smile face. And now I've got the smiley face added. So if we scroll out a bit more, drag him up here, save, and do Control B. This will build the game and open up the game. And you can see our little smiley face down here. All creepy like in the darkness. We can just copy and paste these around as much as we want. Bold, more smiley faces. The other method would be in here, or in any folder you have in your main project file. I'm going to use the main folder. New game object. The game object is the main thing you'd use in Defold for almost everything. So we're going to name this player object. You can hit enter or create game object, so I'm going to hit enter this time. Now I've got the game object. It looks a lot like the main collection from before we add these, as it is a viewpoint, but we are only going to be able to see whatever we put inside the game object. We're going to want to add a sprite again. Same process. Main.atlas and select the animation. Hit F, we can get a more centralized view. We do not want to move these around in here. We save. We can close this. And now I've got the player object, which we can drag into collection. No, we can open up the collection, add game object file, select the game object, double click, and now I've got this. The benefit of using a game object in this way, instead of using it this way, is if I go back to the game object here, and I don't want it to be this anymore. I want it to be something else. Don't have anything else added, however, there is a built-in graphic that Defold offers, which we will set this to, and set that to that. Save it, go to here, and it has changed. This is useful if you are wanting to copy bullet assets into the game when you fire a gun, or if you want to have multiple all around the map. So maybe a tree. If you want to place trees all around the map, you'll want to go make a game object in the main or any other folder and import it into the game, because that will make it so every single time you change this, every one of these will change. However, if I go to change only one of these, it won't change all of them. So this is beneficial if you need only one of the thing, and this is beneficial if you need to have multiple, along with an easier way to duplicate it.